Hello. I was muted for a second, you guys. Hi. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, friends and family. How are you guys doing? Happy Thanksgiving, pre Thanksgiving to you if you celebrate it. Not a lot of people celebrate it. If you celebrate it, happy Thanksgiving to you. If you don't, have a great day. Happy every day to you, right? You got it. You guys have to excuse me. I love the holidays. I love me some Christmas. I love me some Thanksgiving. And not because it's all about food, but because I love getting together with friends, with family, with coworkers, with I love it all. As long as there is like um, time to eat and time to kind of chill, I'm there all day, every day. Okay, all day, every day. So I hope that you're having an amazing day. And I hope that, and I pray that your holidays, whether it's the one tomorrow, Thanksgiving, or the ones that are upcoming, Hanukkah, the end of the year is coming, you guys. My series is called Winter is Coming. Because it is coming, right? The end of the year is usually winter time and it's coming. So definitely a lot of love, a lot of hugs, and definitely a lot of prayer for everything to go smooth, to go right, to go nice, to go at peace, right? That's what we want. We want peace, laughter, and a lot of laughter, right? So, yes, hi, welcome. This is Dr. Dale, for those that don't know. I talk about all things emotional intelligence, right? With a dash of human resources, right? Definitely, if you follow me by now, you know who I am, you know what I do. And today is no different. Today is no different. We're going to be talking about EQ. So, what is EQ? Unwrapping EQ, right? And sometimes we get confused with the acronym EQ. If you don't know by now, same thing as emotional intelligence. Emotional quotient, same thing. Emotional intelligence. I'm not going to give you the textbook definition because you can go look that up. But the breakdown version is pretty much understanding your emotions and how they show up in any given situation and helping them to make you have show up best and the people around you because those people as well just like you have emotions, right? And you're like, Dale, what is emotions? What do you mean by emotions? What do you mean? You're a human, I'm a human, we all have emotions. We all have emotions. The thing is, how are we interacting with those emotions? And I think I had it pulled up here for a second. Um, let's go through some list of emotions, right? Anger, ugh, frustration, sadness, satisfaction, anxiety, jealousy, hatred, loneliness, fear, depression, self confidence, boredom, surprise, disgust, annoyance, guilt, shame, fear. These are all emotions that you and me experience on an everyday basis. We have experienced it, whether that be at a given situation. If you are a human being, you have experienced one or two or all of these emotions at one point in your life, right? Per se, at one point in your life. So, if these emotions you're expressing every day, we're going to use them emotion in an intelligent way to make sure that we have the best experience in our lives, right? For example, somebody noticed, let me give an example, a realistic one. Somebody noticed that my zipper for my pants was down. This happened at some point to me. And somebody pointed out to you, to me. And when they pointed out to me, I was a little bit ashamed. I was, I was a little bit shy and ashamed that they had to point that out, that I didn't notice it. That's an emotion that I experience, right? And when I experienced it, sometimes when people go through these emotions, and it vary because depending on what the emotion is, depends on how you feel. If you are feeling embarrassment or loneliness or hatred, not even talking about anger, right? Or fearful, these emotions cause you to act a certain way, right? In any given situation. So the question is, when you express these emotions, how are you reacting to them? They come, you have anger right now for whatever reason. How are you expressing that anger? So last week, we talked about recognizing those emotions, right? Recognizing how you feel, why you feel the way you feel it, and going a little bit skin deep and getting to the root cause of it, right? And then addressing it, right? This week, we're talking about managing those emotions. And then maybe setting some realistic goals, right? Because that's how stress happens. That's the kind of goal with the title, Unwrapping EQ, Unwrapping Emotional Intelligence, which will help us to have a stress-free, more enjoyable holiday, you guys, so we can really enjoy our holiday. And with that being said, the only way to do that is if we manage our emotions and the stress that come towards us. So before we get started, we're only going to be here for a few minutes, you guys, because I know you guys got to cook, you got to go shop, you got to get yourself ready for family that is coming over, for family that is going to be, looking forward. For me, for Thanksgiving, I am hosting. So I have the in-laws coming. My husband's family is coming down to my mom's house, and I'm gonna cook, you guys. I do my thing. I do my thing when I do my thing. I do my thing when I do my thing. So, husband is gonna be doing the turkey, and I'll be doing some chicken, and I'm putting in there some. My mom was trying to talk about some ribs. I was like, we're not doing this big thing. It's only like 10 of us. Like, stop, right? Definitely some shrimp. Definitely some shrimp. So yeah, that's what I'll be. That's what I'll be doing. So I hope that you are doing the same. And I know this is the reason why I'm talking about emotional intelligence, right? You're like, who cares about that, Dale? Why are you talking about emotional intelligence? Because if you are a human being, you experience emotions. And sometimes those emotions, a lot of times, those emotions are not always positive. It's not always happiness. It's not always let's say love. It's not always surprise that is good stuff. Sometimes, a lot of times, those emotions that we experience are fear, or sadness, frustration, stress, right? And if it's those things, what are you doing to help you during those times? I know for the holidays right now, a lot of people sometimes get really sad and down, depressed even because they have lost a loved one during the holidays, right? They lost, they're no longer with a family, right? They are now divorced, or they've lost a child. Like, it's a myriad of things that you could be feeling during this holiday season right now. So the question is, emotional intelligence, I've done the research, it can help you. It has helped me, right? I've had a close friend, coworker now, for that friend that died earlier this year, and it was terrible, terrible. And I mean, no way, shape, or form, a coworker or a friend that was very near and dear, was like a sister, because we talked every day, we saw each other every day, we interacted. She shared her stuff with me, I shared my stuff with her. Like, it was a lot. So imagine if it's a parent, if it's a child, right? If it's someone that is really like a grandparent, right? I had my grandmother, Eva Hall, that died years ago, but she before she died, she left an impact on a lot of her grandchildren, all of her grandchildren, right? So I know I get it. It's hard, right? And I'm saying emotional intelligence can help you because it has helped me. It has helped millions. The research is there, right? So that's why I'm so passionate about it, because it has helped calm me down. And unfortunately, for those that don't have it or have very low EQ, it has caused them to even end up in prison, to even end up dead, because they couldn't control their emotions. They couldn't control how they were feeling. They lashed out. They did whatever. It caused them to just take, again, when you feel a certain way, you feel like somebody's attacking you or hurting you, or your anger kicks in, you go blind. Some people go blind and they just see red, 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 right? Which is hurt, 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 hurt. And they say, of course, hurt people hurt people. Well, you know what? Happy people make other people happy. So that's why I'm like pleading the case for emotional intelligence, because emotional intelligence is happiness. It's one, self awareness. That's at the heart of emotional intelligence. And it's love. Loving yourself, understanding yourself, knowing why you feel and do and think, and what everything that from your past, like all of it, accepting it, recognizing it, um, understanding it, and seeing, understanding how it affects you on every given day, and then letting it go. That's it. Letting it go. Letting it go. And that's the thing, right? Because we sometimes want to hold on to so much that has happened in the past, but we can't let it go. You can't move forward if you're constantly thinking and living in the past. I don't care. If you wake up, right? If you're going forward, driving in a car, you're driving in a car and you're going forward. How many accidents? How far you think you're going to get? You are on the steering wheel and you're going like this, but you're looking back. You're not going to last. Accident on top of accident. Something is going to go wrong because you are looking backwards while you are driving forward. It's not going to work. You can't do it. And if you're doing it, you're not going to last, right? So that's what emotional intelligence does. So you guys know, every single time I talk to you guys, I share with you guys, I always have a book that I'm reading, because I'm always reading a book. And I have a quote for you guys, because I'm big on quotes and words and phrases and stuff, right? Which is why you see that my phrase in the back there, my office, that says, Control, Alt, Delete. Control yourself, alter your thinking, and delete negativity. Delete negativity, you guys. So the quote that I have for you guys today is by Deepak Chopra. And if you guys don't know him, you are missing out, right? And it says, instead of resisting any emotion, the best way to dispel it is to enter it fully, embrace it, and see through your resistance. I had this client of mine that said to me, "Oh, hi, Sanya. Am I saying your name right? Hope I'm saying your name right. Hi, Sanya. Thanks for joining." um, I had this client that said, "I thought that it was okay to it was right for me to kind of share my emotions and just feel them. And if I felt them, I did them." I said, "Absolutely. If anybody tells you to shut it down, don't cry, don't, feel what you're feeling, don't, whatever it is that you're feeling in that moment, go with it." If you're embarrassed, you're embarrassed. If you're sad, what do sad people do? Their shoulders get slouched, they get low, they look down, when I'm sad, sometimes I don't want to get out of bed. I just want to watch TV. I want to do all of those things that don't involve me talking to people. Talking to people, right? So whatever feeling that you feel in the moment, feel it. Feel it wholly, solely, 100%. 100%. Right? So the question is now, what do you do? That's what I told her. I said, it's okay to feel the feel, right? Go through the feelings. The question is, how are we expressing those emotions? I put here, it is a good thing to let emotions out. How are you expressing them is the tricky part. That's where it comes into play. We're kind of like, are you going to curse that person out? Are you going to lash out at them? Are you going to push them? Are you going to shake them to death? Are you going to slap them? Or are you going to, how are you expressing that negative emotion based on how you're feeling because of that given situation? How are you expressing it? How? Because it's okay to feel it, but you can't go around slapping people. You can't do that. I mean, you can do it, but you're not going to get very far. I'll tell you that right now, because one day you're going to find the right one that is just going to punch your lights out, and then that will be the end of it, right? Or you're going to be like some of my other clients, some other people that I used to know that they ended up in jail. They didn't get far, right? So how are you dispelling those emotions? And this is where, when you go and you get together with family, emotions are going to come up. And they're not always the good ones, right? They're not always happiness and joy and dancing and fun. Saying you walk away, perfect. That's a healthy way, because your mom always says, your parents say, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, you don't say nothing at all. Exactly. Saying that's what I do. I used to do that a lot, quite a bit. I still do it, but now I don't put myself in a lot of those situations to have to constantly be walking away. But when I did, I walked away because I would be like, your hands, you can feel your hands trying to like, let me walk away from her because, or him, right? Whatever that is, you want to make sure that you are stress free, that you are at peace, and joy is there. You can't do that if you are trying to throw jabs at people, right? The last thing that is there is peace, right? The last thing that's there is peace. So, how are you managing it? And so, some people, Sanya says, yes, Lord. So the question is, though, some people, they do yoga, which the body, you move the body, help you relax. This is not when you're in the situation. This is, you just left work, you had a very stressful day, and you need to relax and unwind. You do exercise, you do yoga, you do meditation. I love me some meditation. I do a lot of journaling, right? Instead of cursing them out, you get your book, you get a journal, and be like, you write all of it in here. And you took it. Well, the journaling, there's a method to that. That is like, it works. You get it out of here by writing it down, right? Writing it down, whatever is here, good, bad, indifferent. You just have a bunch of things that you're thinking about. You can't get yourself centered and you're all over the place. Write it down. Write it down. Right? And now it's out of here. You've emptied it. There's a whole psychology behind this, you guys. Read it. And you put it on the journaling. There's some people that do deep breathing. There's a whole deep breathing mechanism called 478. 478. Look it up. It is amazing. I know one of the moderators on Breakfast with Champion on Clubhouse. His name is called T.M. Hyman. He's also America's favorite mentor. He speaks about the 478, and it helps with high blood pressure. Like, it saves lives. There's a whole thing behind it as well, whole mechanism behind it as well. Look it up. Deep breathing, 478. You inhale for 4, exhale for 7, and then inhale again for 8. I think that's how it is. Don't quote me, you guys. But it works. It's out there, right? So, and some of the other mechanisms people do is another one that I do that helps me manage my stress. I dance. If I had a stressful day at work, I go home. I have my Alexa. The minute I walk into my house at a specific time, it's playing music because I need to change my vibe. I need to change my mindset, and I need to be in a happy mood, because my status quo, my reset is always, hi, what's up? This smile and this attitude. Ask anybody. This is my status quo, right? When I'm not like this, is because something is on my mind. Somebody said something and I'm letting it bother me, right? So those are a few things. One of the other things that you can do is, I have this in my coaching that I did. I developed this acronym called PULSE, like check your pulse, right? And I have the whole acronym for that. If you're interested, definitely reach out to me and I'll share that with you. That you can kind of go through the P, the U, the L, and kind of helps you when you're in those stressful situations. But you definitely don't want to be out here hurting people, because it's okay to feel the feeling, but you don't want to be hurting people because you're trying to express what you're expressing. Not good, right? And I don't know when it became okay for a manager, for a boss, for a person in leadership to disrespect you while they're trying to correct you. I don't know when it became a thing, but it's not a thing and it's not right. So stop doing it. If you're a manager, if you're a supervisor, if you're a director, if you're a VP, if you're a peer, if you're a friend, if you're a family member, if you're a dad, I don't care who you are. You have to share information kindly. You don't have to be a butthole, for the lack of saying another word. You don't have to be a bitch. You don't have to be rude when you're sharing information. I am very passionate about that because that used to happen to me. That used to happen, and to some degree with peers and coworkers and stuff that you work with, they still they try you, right? So how are you responding when that happens? I used to work at the front desk, and you had managers and you had even coworkers of yours that are just rude. People are just on the incivility within the workplace. It's not accepted. If you're doing it, stop doing it because it ain't cool. If you're doing it, stop doing it because it ain't cool. Okay? It's not only not cool, it's not right. You are causing a lot of harm. If a manager tells you, I don't know what's wrong with you, are you dumb or something? That person takes that information and they resonate with that. And they take that throughout their life, year after year, day after day, and that becomes a part of how they interact and how they show up in this world. Don't let that be you saying those kinds of words, hurting people in that way because you can't control yourself. Don't do it. If you're doing it, stop doing it because it ain't cool. Okay? It ain't cool. And that's all I'm going to say about that for now. And so managing your stress, right? And I gave you a list of things that you can do to manage your stress in a situation. Senya also she mentioned walking away or asking the person if you're in the thick of a conversation and the person is whatever they're saying is being disrespectful and rude and unprofessional, then tell them, I don't think this conversation right now, I'm in the best mindset to kind of continue this conversation. Can we reschedule this meeting, or can I come back, or can I go to the bathroom, wash my face? Can I go to the bathroom? I'll be right back. And kind of reset yourself, right? To make sure that you don't give the same energy or actions or reaction that they're giving to you. Just because they're giving it to you does not mean that you're going to sink yourself down to their level and put out that same energy. But what you won't do is you have to set boundaries. Set boundaries. Tell that person, hey, you're talking to me. The way you're talking to me, your tone and the words that you're using are not helping the situation, and they're not, you're disrespecting me, and I'm not going to tolerate it anymore. So this conversation is over. And it's okay to say that. You are not giving them, you're not yelling, as long as your voice, my director of HR says, as long as your voice is a 3 or a 4 and not a 10 or 12, then you are, and you're saying what you're saying respectfully and kindly. That's it. You have done your humanity. You have done the human, what's humanly expected of you. Okay? Another point I wanted to make was set realistic goals. Stop setting goals that are not going to be unattainable or is going to cause you more stress. Be realistic about what you can accomplish, what you can expect from yourself and others. Think about that. If you do not tell people what they can expect from you or what you can expect from them, and they present you with something, don't get mad because you never set what the expectation was to begin with. You didn't communicate. Just because you open your mouth and share the information doesn't mean that the information that came out of your mouth was received to the point where you got what you needed from that conversation. It's just not the case. Human beings, I tell you, it's a beautiful thing. What you can expect from yourself, what others can expect, because during the holidays, do you want to be doing all this cooking? Tell them. Have your husband, your friend, your family member, have everybody chip in and help. You don't have to do all the cooking. If you've done it for years because you love doing it and you're sick, maybe you can't do it this Christmas, this Thanksgiving. I don't know, right? But you have to be able to communicate that, right? And share that and let them know how you feel. If somebody hurt your feelings, share in a respectful way. Pick up the phone and tell them how you feel. Stop being out here accepting every single thing and holding on to it for a grudge to the point where it gives you a heart attack. Stop doing it. Don't do it. It's taking away your joy and it's adding to your stress, and you don't want that. You don't want it, right? You don't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. There's another way, right? But if you keep telling yourself the same stories that you've been telling yourself for years and years and years and years and years, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow? Tomorrow is going to be the same as today because you haven't told yourself a different story. You haven't picked up the phone and called them. You haven't apologized. It's still hurting you. It's still hurting them. Let it go. Address it. Acknowledge it, address it, let it go. Otherwise, don't plan to be on this earth for a very long time because the stress is coming. There's a book called, and I always quote this book because I love this book, The Body Keeps Score. Meaning, every single stress that you put your body through, it will remember it, it will not forget it, and it will come to collect. You may be 18 years old today and acting all out and acting crazy and being whatever. And always that stress, that you see that you're tensing up, the body remembers every single second that you put your body through that fear, that frustration, every single thing it remembers and is going to come to collect. How do you think people have heart attacks and silent stress that is killing people out here? Right? Because we are holding on to things. We're not forgiving. We are holding on to things that is sending us crazy. Forgive them. Let them go. Let it go. You probably can't forget it. It happened. People are out here hurting people really bad, and it is what it is. Sometimes you can do things about it, and sometimes you just can't. If you have a loved one that hurt you and that person is no longer in this world, there's a beautiful mechanism. I'm not going to claim because I didn't invent it or did it, but there is a thing called by Louise Hay. It's called, she does this thing about the mirror work. There's a mirror work, and there's also write a letter to that person that is no longer here, that hurt you, or you can't talk to them or whatever it is. Write a letter to them and express exactly how you felt, how you feel. And then you go to the ocean and then you burn that letter as a sign of letting go all of those emotions that are no longer serving you. They're not serving you anymore. And it's okay to let them go now because it's time for you to heal. And the healing process is not going to be from one day to the other. It's listening to conversations like this, going deep within yourself, asking yourself those hard questions, answering those hard questions, and doing the work. And becoming a master on emotional intelligence or getting it right every time, that's not what it's about. It's about constantly balancing. Okay, I didn't get it today. Let me go back a little bit on that side. Let me go, it's like a balance. You're constantly trying to balance it to make it on the middle. That's what it's about. Constantly trying to fix the left to the right, to never be too much on the left, too much on the right. You want to be just right in the middle, to the point where they're respecting you. You have your boundaries. You're respecting them. They have their boundaries. And peace is all around. Because stress, there's none. Because we already know what our expectations are from this relationship. Right? And what you get, maximize joy. Maximize joy. So, yeah, this was great. This is a great conversation. I had fun. Thanks, Henya, for popping in and sharing your thoughts. I definitely appreciate it. I do want to share, I'm going to put in the message below I have a workshop coming up and on unlocking your emotional superpower, December 9th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for like an hour and a half. And we're just going to give the 7 tips on how you can capitalize on your emotional superpower, because people think emotions are something bad. No, those are you. That's who you are. Accept it. But now let's use it so that way you can come out on top and not underneath. You can be the boss of you with intelligence. So definitely thank you for popping in. Have an amazing Thanksgiving. This was great conversation and hope to see you in my next live. I am live every Wednesday, you guys. Every Wednesday, I am bouncing between 12 o'clock, 12:30 Eastern Standard Time or 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. But I know today was a holiday tomorrow and people may be like getting ready for Thanksgiving. So I wanted it to make it like a lunchtime chat versus evening. So yeah, I'll see you guys back here next week at 6:30 p.m. And I know your Thanksgiving is going to be amazing. Just remember, breathe, smile, love yourself, respect others, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Thank you, Sanya. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well.